A UK watchdog claims Google's ad tech practices are harming competition. But before we get into that, YouTube confirmed its termination of 5 right-wing political channels believed to be connected to the Department of Justice's Russia-linked U.S. media indictments this week. The platform pulled the channel of Tenet Media, which CNN reported to be the unnamed company implicated in the indictment. The DOJ accused Russian operatives of paying the media organization to spread disinformation designed to influence the 2024 U.S. elections. A YouTube spokesperson confirmed the takedown and provided a statement to Engadget. Following an indictment from the U.S. Department of Justice and after careful review, we are terminating the Tenet Media channel and 4 channels operated by its owner, Lauren Chen, as part of our ongoing efforts to combat coordinated influence operations, the company statement reads. According to YouTube, the investigation into the situation is ongoing, and the company will evaluate whether further actions are warranted as new information emerges. The company says it terminated over 4,000 YouTube channels in Q2 2024 as part of investigations into Russia-linked influence operations. YouTube works with Google Threat Analysis Group, TAG, to identify bad actors and deplatform their channels and accounts accordingly. On Wednesday, the DOJ indicted 2 employees of RT, formerly Russia Today, a Kremlin-backed media outlet. They were accused of illegally funding a Tennessee-backed media organization, now all but officially confirmed as Tenet Media. DOJ prosecutors allege in the indictment that the media company's founders knew their funding came from the Russian government. Tenet Media is owned by Chen and her husband, Liam Donovan. Google is facing yet more scrutiny over its ad tech practices after the UK's competition watchdog provisionally found that the company is abusing its dominant market position. In a statement of objections, the Competition and Markets Authority said Google is harming competition in the country by using its dominance in online display advertising to favor its own ad tech services. The watchdog contends that, since 2015, Google has taken advantage of its dominant position in the sector as the operator of the Google Ads and DV260 ad buying tools and DoubleClick for Publishers, a publisher ad server, to bolster its ADX advertising exchange. The CMA said that ADX is at the heart of the company's ad tech stack, and it's the platform on which it charges the highest fees to advertisers, approximately 20% of each bid for ad space that's processed there. The CMA provisionally found that the vast majority of publishers and advertisers use Google's ad tech services in order to bid for and sell advertising space on websites by preferencing its own services. Google disadvantages competitors and prevents them competing on a level playing field to provide publishers and advertisers with a better, more competitive service that supports growth in their business, the CMA stated. The statement of objections gives Google a chance to provide feedback, and the CMA will consider those representations before it makes any final decision. A case decision group comprising 3 people, none of whom were involved in the preliminary investigation or sending the statement of objections. If the CMA ultimately determines that Google has infringed competition rules, it can fine the company up to 10% of its global annual revenue and order legally binding changes to the ad tech business. Google disagrees with the decision and will respond accordingly. Dan Taylor, vice president of Google Ads, said, "Our advertising technology tools help websites and apps fund their content and enable businesses of all sizes to effectively reach new customers," Taylor told CNBC in a statement. Google remains committed to creating value for our publisher and advertiser partners in this highly competitive sector. The core of this case rests on flawed interpretations of the ad tech sector. Regulators elsewhere have taken aim at Google's position in the ad tech space. The European Commission accused the company of abusive practices in the online ad space in June last year. The EC said that a potential order for Google to implement remedies may not be enough to resolve those practices. That could lead to the EU breaking up Google's ad business. Meanwhile, the Department of Justice and Google are set to go head-to-head in a trial that will start on Monday. The agency has called for the company's ad tech business to be broken up, citing an alleged illegal monopoly Google holds in that market. Google failed in an attempt to have that case dismissed. Last month, a federal judge ruled that Google illegally abused a monopoly over the search industry, following a trial that stemmed from a separate DOJ lawsuit. Thanks for listening to the show. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Today's show featured journalism by Engadget contributor Chris Holt and was produced by Spoken Layer. I'm Imran Sheikh, and as always, we'll talk more tomorrow.
Spoken Layer.